Did you know that in ancient Rome, if you would have a headache for a couple of days and you would go to the doctors, there's a very big chance that the doctor would come to you with a fish? Yes, a fish. And not just any fish, but in particular this fish. This is an electric ray. And what is so special about this fish is that it's possible to generate some very tiny electrical signals. So what would the doctor then do? The doctor would sit you down, would put the fish on top of your head, and would let it shock you until the symptoms were gone. Crazy, right? But they might have been onto something though. Because nowadays we know that the cells in our body, they communicate with each other using the same small electrical signals. And if this communication goes wrong, we get some type of diseases. Let's, for example, look at epilepsy. Epilepsy is a disease in which a group of cells become very hyperactive and start sending a bunch of signals to the next group of cells. The next group of cells cannot follow the signaling, and this will cause the seizures as we know them. And do you know what's even crazier? Unto this day, we still can use these small electrical signals as a way to treat epilepsy. And not to worry, we don't use fishes anymore for this. What we do is we implant a very small metal electrode into your brain in the place where those hyperactive cells reside. This electrode will then try to regulate the communication between the two groups of cells, and hopefully in this way can either diminish or sometimes even completely get rid of the seizures. But we have a problem. These metal electrodes, they're rigid, they're hard and they don't bend, while our brain is a very soft tissue. This will cause friction, and this friction will start the immune system, which will cause inflammation in the end. So what we need now is a completely new generation of electrodes that has the same functionalities, but without the drawbacks that we have nowadays. That is where my research comes in. Only 8 months ago, we published a paper in which we present a completely new generation of electrodes. These electrodes are both flexible and they will assemble inside the brain. So how does that work? Well, we would inject a solution, a very watery solution that contains all the building blocks. From the moment that this solution gets into the brain, it's the brain's own molecules that will start to build up the electrode. And this is how that looks like. So once the brain is done, this is a fully functional electrode that can do the same things as our metal electrodes can do, but without the disadvantages. Thus far, we have only been able to test this in zebrafish and leeches. But think of all the possibilities this might unlock for the future. For example, we can control a bionic arm with only your thoughts. Or people that have lost their voices might be able to speak again. And to think that that all started in ancient Rome, when a doctor wanted to treat a headache with a fish.